Okay, well, stream's up then. Here we go. For the first event, it won't let me choose to invite or not invite anyone, it seems. So. This takes forever.
Yep.
Great to see you. We're shooting a documentary about car culture in the UK, and I need a second driver. You've made a name for yourself, and it would be great to have you aboard. It's simple. You drive, I tell the story. Let's do it.
Well, that sounds easy.
Yep. Entertain you before class.
No, we should stay above 70 miles an hour.
From Aston Martin to McLaren and Bentley, Great Britain is home to over a century of automotive excellence.
How about some learning for you, Bobo?
To British Racing Green, a documentary celebrating that history.
Some learning before you had to go do more learning.
The Aston Martin DB5 Vantage was the quintessential Grand Tourer of the 1960s, combining British engineering and Italian design. The Vantage featured side-draft carburetors and a refined camshaft profile, capable of a blistering top speed of 162 miles an hour in 1964. The clean lines of Superleggera's bodywork, reclining seats and wool carpets created a car that was luxurious as well as fast. This car would form the basis for the DB range, with later cars improving on the design in many ways, but none would ever achieve the sheer iconic perfection of the Vantage.
In 100 yards, turn left.
For all of its beauty and engineering perfection, only 65 of these beautiful machines would ever be built. If you own one, you own a piece of British history.
In 200 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
Try not to fail at the very end. There's quite a few tight corners.
Yeah, I know.
For this game, because Forza Horizon is not ESL worthy, but for Motorsport, I have. It's tough as hell, and I really don't want to invest that much time because you have to build your own car and tune it yourself and, you know, figure out,
The
you know,
silver
mileage and
DB5
tires and
would
pit
be
stop
immortalized
times.
in half a century of cinema. The classic
used to, though.
Aston Martin.
And
What are you
they
talking
don't
about, Andrew?
ESL
But in
tournaments for Forza.
2016, a new DB was unveiled, heralding the dawn of Aston Martin's second century. The DB11 is the first
Did it just go straight into the
turbocharged
second
Aston Martin, But is it a worthy
I
successor
don't
to
know.
that legacy?
Went straight into
Event.
something.
Okay.
The short answer
Or is it
is
just a
yes.
two-part one?
It's bold, responsive, and agile. It's perhaps the best GT chassis in the world. And listen to it.
I love how it gives you a solid minute to hit 100 miles an hour, and then after that, it's like 10 seconds if you go below
Most
it.
of the good ones, Bubba, aren't once a week either.
Able to hit 60
It's like
miles
whoever
an
can
hour
rack
in
up the most
3.5
points
seconds.
over
The
multiple events in a
DB11's
week or 2
5.2
weeks.
litre twin turbo
That would mean I'd have to take
V12
2 weeks
boasts a top speed of
off
over
of everything
200
I'm doing,
miles an hour.
which is kind of shitty as well. You can be the fastest, and someone who plays more will get into the top 8.
The DB11 is not the fastest car in the world, but then it's not trying to be. It's sophisticated, effortless luxury. It's an Aston Martin.
I got a little closer than I would like it.
Whoops.
The DB11's front strakes channel air to create a virtual spoiler, providing downforce without compromising the car's clean lines.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Please don't fail, by the way. There are some tough corners
I
coming up.
won't. I'll figure it out.
Most importantly, I think, the DB11 proves that Aston Martin is ready for another century of beautiful cars. And I can't wait.
No, no, no. Come on. We're gonna dip. See you later, Elijah.
If that was the corners you were talking about, that wasn't that hard.
Whatever, maybe I downshifted a little too early and slid out. I assumed you would do the same thing. I don't know.
I drifted that corner holding it at perfectly 100 miles an hour. That was
Beautiful
kind of
as
funny.
they are, Aston Martins are only one of many cars made in the United Kingdom. Let's see what else is out there.
Yeah, I think that was just a two-part thing. Or it was like an old version and a new version.
Okie doke.
Okay.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. 125,000 points.
This is shaping up nicely. Time for a change of pace, though. At least at first. The next segment is about Land Rover.
This is what I think it
and
is.
we'll be starting out with the Type 3.
Yeah, starting out with Type 3, so I feel like we're going to do an old Land Rover than a new one. It's probably what all these ones are.
Probably.
Land Rover, the British sports utility vehicle. But before that, They were actual utility vehicles. Solid, tough trucks, unstoppable over almost any terrain.
In 400 yards,
Oh boy, I hit 88.
The
Am I
Land
gonna go
Rover
back in
Type
time
3
now?
marks the point where that shift begins. And we'll be looking at what that meant.
That's bad for me. Like how we went from a car that handled so nicely to this.
Hey, it has feelings.
Land Rovers have taken on almost every task imaginable. They've been generators, tractors and ambulances. They've brought peace and carried medicines to disaster zones. They've even been buses. Over 500,000 Series 3s were built, and over 70% of those are still on the road today. They were extensively exported and built under license abroad. Belgium, South Africa, even Australia and New Zealand. With a robust chassis and signature Land Rover engineering, the Type 3 also marked the first time that buyers could choose interior options, like seat box protectors and cubby boxes. That trend continued, and by 1982, Land Rover were offering the
It's actually not that
counter-spec
bad.
Type 3. Leisure drivers could choose from such
Could be
luxuries
worse.
as all-cloth seats,
For a
soundproofing,
truck,
and
it's not
tinted
bad, yeah.
glass. The trend was increasingly clear, and the future of the Land
Where you
Rover
going,
was
Andrew?
starting to take shape. If you squinted, you could
Oh no, where
already
am I
see
going?
the shape of the first sports utility vehicle, the Range Rover.
Please tell me you can make this hill. Oh god.
In 1978, a Series 3 was custom built
Alright.
for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. It only had
It worked out.
1,892 miles on the clock when it was auctioned into private hands. And it was in perfect condition. It would be. After all, she trained as a mechanic in the 1940s and will likely remain the only royal able to strip and rebuild an engine.
Yeah, it worked out. Sort of.
Along with the Range Rover, others would follow. Discovery, Defender, and the Freelander. Each a more sophisticated and enjoyable utility vehicle. But none of them were a replacement for the Type 3. They were a different kind of car. The Type 3 was arguably the first sports utility vehicle, an evolution of the design that would lead ultimately to this. The
Hey, a
Bowler
bowler.
Nemesis, an off-road racing vehicle that turned into a production SUV, the Nemesis EXR.
Alright, 125,000 skill points is the goal. 125,000.
It sports a turbocharged 5-litre Land Rover Jaguar engine, crammed into a carbon fibre chassis with integral roll cage. It even has the grille, headlights and rear lights from a Range Rover.
You essentially need to get to 25,000 and hit times 5 when you're done.
Yeah.
We only
I
got
mean,
a
to
minute and
bank
20
that,
seconds
just-
left as well. Need to not hit you.
Don't worry, I'm
If
driving
you
away.
want to see what the Type 3 would be like if it ever stopped doing important things,
Dang it.
this is it. And it's beautiful.
Uh-oh. Damn it, that was too big of a tree.
Pretty sure I got it.
And there are no compromises
Yeah.
either. With a 0 to 60 time of an unreal 4.2 seconds, all-wheel drive, and the ability to corner near instantly, the Nemesis provides adrenaline and sheer terror in equal measure. This is an all-terrain supercar. That's the only fair description for this. But that's what you get when you build an SUV with Land Rover DNA.
Another wheel spin.
Yep. I actually prestiged the other day, so I'm currently level 2 for both.
What is the level to hit before you
200.
prestige? Ah.
Yeah. All right. 1 minute 37 seconds for whatever the second event is.
So is it only the second event that matters, really? Or what?
Yeah. Well, you still have to get to the destination in time for the first event. It's kind of like
Yeah.
it's like the
Enjoying
stunt
yourself?
driving
I
ones.
know
You
I
drive
am.
to
It's great to
something
be
and
able
then
to
you
just
do
Yeah,
the
focus on
okay.
telling the
challenge.
story while
Yeah.
someone else handles the
Yeah,
driving
okay.
for once. Let's get to the next one. This time,
Jesus.
it's Lotus.
This thing. I remember this thing.
I remember this thing very well, but in motorsport.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I think you're thinking what I'm thinking.
This looks like a race that could be.
Lotus Engineering
I don't know.
Limited
I'm gonna
began
treat
as
this like
many
it's the
stories in
130 or
British
whatever.
engineering
I don't
do,
know.
in an old barn.
We'll see. Because we only have
The
2 minutes.
first Lotus cars were offered as kits. You built them yourself. From 1962, they began to actually build the cars themselves. The Elan Sprint showed exactly what they intended to do. Designer Colin Chapman famously said, "Adding power makes you faster on the straights. Subtracting weight makes you faster everywhere." He knew what he was talking about.
In 200 yards, turn right. Turn right. In 100 yards, turn left.
Widely hailed as one of the greatest sports cars of the 1960s, the Elan would be closely studied and emulated, inspiring such masterpieces as the Mazda MX-5. The Elan has all the energy, style, and enthusiasm you would expect. Bold, quick, and fun. So much so that they put it in the name.
Did I say 135? Or did I say 130?
You said 130, I think. Just assume 130.
The Elan Sprint was a financial as well as an engineering success for Lotus. validating their approach to design and resulting in a whole family of light, agile roadsters. Which brings us to this, the Lotus Exige. It's heavier than the Elan, admittedly, but it's faster. Much, much faster.
All right.
Touch the pedal, the Exige responds with instant, relentless acceleration, as you'd expect.
All right. So this is going to be the 130 run,
With a 0
I
to
guess.
60 time of 3.8
Yeah.
seconds and a top speed of 170 before upgrades and tuning, the Exige is uncompromising.
Oh, you like to slide? Okay.
It is wet, maybe. The road is a little bit wet.
Still wasn't expecting that. I don't know.
And there's no power steering, so you can really feel the road. A genuinely thrilling drive, and one that isn't afraid to demand you take it seriously.
In 200 yards, turn left. Turn left.
Oh, come on. Recover, recover. I can level that. Sure. Not at all how I wanted to deal with those corners, but alright. I wanted to cut like one corner, not like 7 corners. That might have been slower.
Yeah. I probably caught you if I didn't hit a tree there.
In 400 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
You better hope it's 135.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Even still, I got a 135 too.
Oh, really? God damn it, Andrew.
I'm sorry. I think it has a retry though.
Oh,
These 2-part ones.
And with rumoured launches of 2 new cars in 2020, Lotus looks set to push the benchmark of the experienced sports car well into the next century.
Oh yes. Thank God.
apparently that was good enough.
I'll take it. No complaints whatsoever. And it looks like the retry's only in solo.
Oh, okay.
50 seconds. It's gonna have to be some drive.
What was it?
50 seconds.
Done much
Jeez.
rallying?
Better be a
That's
short
joke.
drive.
We've all seen what you've been up to. We're doing the next bit on location. You'll see why when you get there.
Okay, we're not starting with an older one this time, or what? Oh, we're just driving our own cars there?
Apparently.
Interesting. There we go. Back on the road.
That was boring. I even tried to make it fun. It was too easy.
I'm supposed to park? Okay.
Oh, you just go up to the little thing.
Hmm.
You just need to be going really slowly.
Ford, that most
Yeah.
American of
I kind of
cars.
did the
But the
usual
Ford
fly
Escort?
through.
Oh, that's British. And more than that, the Escort would become
Can
for
I be
many
excused from this
synonymous
one?
with Group B. In the 70s,
This is
Ford
a
had
legendary
embraced that
car,
destiny
seriously.
so firmly that they'd begun their own championships to find new drivers. Drivers for cars like the RS 1800. This was a car designed explicitly for rallying, with a powerful fuel-injected
50-second stage rally?
1790cc Cosworth BDE engine.
Wait, there's no... My bad. Okay, we're not getting 50 seconds on this run. Apparently there's a... Oh, maybe we are.
Rules required that all
Oh, I can
cars
make
entered
this.
into the
I have
group
10
be
seconds.
production.
I got this.
So Ford built 200 of them.
Yeah. Okay.
That was not bad, but could we make it a
Oh
little
no,
more
Josh, you followed
majestic?
me. Why? No.
I followed you and hit a tree. If I didn't hit the tree, I
Oh.
would have made it too. Oh well.
You're not supposed to risk these things. Cause then you have to share the blame of defeat.
Done much rallying? That's a joke. We've all seen what you've been up to. We're doing the next bit on location. You'll see why when you get there.
What car are you driving anyways?
Porsche 918.
In 400 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
Nope. Traffic high.
I haven't parked yet. I'm just kind of chilling. Okay, I'll park now. I was doing 1 mile an hour. Apparently that was too fast.
Ford,
Too
that
fast. Too
most
furious.
American of cars. But the Ford Escort? Oh, that's British. And more than that, the Escort would become for many synonymous with Group B. In the 70s, Ford had embraced that destiny so firmly that they'd begun their own championships to find new drivers. Drivers for cars like the RS
I love the brush guard.
1800.
Brush guard is a foot wider than the actual car.
This was a car designed explicitly for rallying, with a powerful fuel-injected 1790cc Cosworth BDE engine. homologation rules required that all cars entered into the group be production, so Ford built 200 of them.
I almost hit a tree that time. I think you're still gonna get the 50-second mark, probably.
No, probably just under a minute. No, actually a minute.
The
Almost
RS
exactly.
1800 brought home 17 World Rally
And wasn't it
Championship
55?
victories for Ford.
Or was it actually 50?
50. 5-0.
Okay.
So, of course, Ford set out
Either
to
way,
design a better
doesn't matter.
one.
Oh,
The RS
Apparently that
200
wasn't the run.
Evolution was their answer. A purpose-built rally car designed to do one thing: win Group B.
is it the same track or what is it?
Could you imagine?
It's probably not going to be that nice.
With a 1.8 turbocharged
Wait,
Ford
it is.
Cosworth BDT engine and all-wheel drive, the RS 200 had perhaps the best suspension platform of any car of its era. The chassis was fiberglass from Reliant, and the massive Ford parts bin was raided to give the car that iconic look.
Well, I think 25 seconds is fast enough. I'm unsure. I mean, the goal is 50, but we'll see.
I didn't quite get 50
Fortunately,
that time
Ford
either,
built
but
over
almost.
200 as part of the
Yeah,
homologation
51,
requirements for Group B.
52.
So you can still find them, if you're lucky.
24, Jesus.
The what?
What?
3.9 seconds. How?
If you look, that is a big loop, that whole track. You start out on the pavement and you loop back around to the pavement. I mean, if you just follow the pavement backwards, you could probably get there pretty quickly.
It would take like 4 seconds to do the 180.
Put it in reverse. Not that far of a distance. It's like a couple hundred yards.
Star Centurion? What is that? Getting like 100 stars or something?
Probably.
So the event is called 38 miles an hour. But the 3-star goal is 43 miles an hour.
I don't want to know what we're driving.
I'm
at
pretty
this
sure I
point.
saw something in the description about world's smallest car.
You know,
Oh.
I like this car. Not that I want to drive it for too long. Squeeze yourself in there and let's see just how fast you can make it go. Which won't be too fast. But hey, I could be surprised.
No, I just closed my Marvel Strike Force. RIP. Oh, energy wasted.
So what was the speed we need?
43.
The Peel P50 has the dubious honour of being the smallest production car in the world. A one-door microcar coupe.
We'll make it there sometime.
Featuring a
Maybe this year, if we're
42cc
lucky.
air-cooled engine, capable of a
It's a
heinous
straight run,
38
too.
miles an hour. And a handle, so you can pick it up and carry it with you when you get to work. And keep in mind that this is the production
I'm gonna
version.
win.
The prototype had the single wheel at the front. Why would you think that was a good idea?
Do you even do 43?
I'm at 42.
Hello, car?
Come on!
There we go. I got
In
it.
2010, though, production restarted at Sutton in Ashfield. So, if you'd like to own the modern incarnation of this,
So
I
stupid.
suppose you can.
Watch there be a 44 somewhere on the leaderboard.
To get that, you'd have to like
yeah,
back up
totally.
and take a run at
Yeah,
it.
442. Oh yeah, definitely. Yep.
What?
Yep.
How?
Totally.
How?
Totally.
In the world do you get that?
That's why I thought the 4 seconds thing was broken too. Pretty sure it's impossible at that point.
I feel like that last one would have been kind of possible. The 4 seconds. I mean, 4 seconds is cutting it a bit short.
I saw like an 8-second one. That was probably possible. Second
Yeah,
place.
the 8
guy.
second I could believe for sure. The 4 seconds maybe not.
205 miles an hour is the next target.
Okay, so it's a slightly faster car than the last one. You're
It's
saying?
probably going to be the McLaren F1, like for sure.
Hey there! How about a car with some actual legroom and some actual speed? This section's about what happened when McLaren decided to make a road
Some
car.
actual legroom.
You're going to enjoy this. The track and the road have very different requirements. For McLaren, that was a challenge they were more than willing to embrace. In 1988, they set out to create the finest sports car the world has ever seen. By 1993, they had achieved their goal, and the honestly fantastic F1 was the result. 106 would be built across all variants, and it remains one of the very best road cars ever made. The
Overshot the
F1
road, did
has
ya?
no turbocharger. That would have compromised the driving experience, increased complexity, and resulted in turbo lag. The F1 is a naturally aspirated supercar, one of the fastest in the world, in fact. Everything about this car is innovative, from the carbon fiber monocoque to the
What do you say the
central
target
driver
was?
position.
205 or
McLaren
something like
threw
that?
the book away when they designed the
Yeah.
F1. Then
For
they wrote
whenever
a
we
better
get
one.
to that part.
The F1's monocoque chassis is
Oops,
incredibly
overshot that.
lightweight, only 100 kilos all told, which posed a significant challenge because carbon fiber and fiberglass aren't great insulators. So, McLaren lined the entire engine compartment with gold.
Of course they did.
You didn't know that?
What?
That's one of my favorite details about this car. I've known that for so long.
McLaren's racing heritage is so
I don't know
deeply
McLaren very
ingrained in
well.
this machine
Sorry.
that they took it to Le Mans in 1995 and faced off against
This was the
purpose-built
fastest
racing
car
machines
until Bugatti came
and
along.
won.
Pretty much.
Good for it.
So, with something like the F1 to live up to, where do you go next? Well, you throw the book away again and write an even better one. The result is the McLaren
You throw the book
P1,
away again.
a hybrid electric sports car that stands head and shoulders above the F1. The P1 GTR will hit 60 miles an hour in 2.4 seconds. That's 0.7 seconds faster than the F1. That's an eternity for a supercar. The car's blistering performance is delivered by a twin-turbo V8, supplemented by a McLaren ECU electric motor and instant power assist system. And they do mean instant.
Bye.
Remember those problems with turbo lag? McLaren solved that with the hybrid drive. While the turbos build
Did
pressure,
you get it?
the
I
electric
didn't.
motor drives the wheels.
Okay.
No turbo
I got
lag,
195.
just torque. And because it's a hybrid,
That's because you
it
took a
has an
shortcut.
all-electric range. Running on batteries
Well,
alone,
not because I took the shortcut,
that's
but because
6.2
when I took
miles.
the shortcut,
A
I
bit
went
more
flying
if
out
you're
into the
going
grass.
downhill.
And that slowed me down. If I'd gotten through the shortcut neatly, I would have been fine.
So let's see how many 100 miles per hour this leaderboard says you can get.
800? Ooh, I got a Forza Edition BMW M6 Coupe.
Nice.
That's a nice wheel spin.
I didn't get to check. Oh. Yeah, these events are pretty cool. 210.
Okay.
2 minutes 10 seconds. Sorry. Not like 210.
I quite like sleeper cars.
What other
Did Alex
British
ever
car
tell you the
could reach
story of
that
what we got up to
speed?
in Colorado? There was this sleeper car competition, you see. Let's just say no one was ready for the sunbeam.
Sunbeam?
Lotus never quite let go of the upgrade game. So in addition to building their own supercars, they upgraded cars from other marques too. The Lotus Carlton was one such aftermarket upgrade. Lotus took a respectable four-door Vauxhall saloon and turned it into a supercar. From the outside, there are a few signs that this is something special. Wider wheel arches, that sort of thing. But under the bonnet, that's where the magic starts. Engine capacity was increased to 3.6 litres, and twin Garrett T25 turbochargers were added. The engine block was reinforced, and new crankshafts were forged by Opel and machined in Germany.
At the roundabout, take the third exit.
The tyres were widened, and the tyre compound from the Lotus Esprit was used. To handle camber change issues, they put in the self-leveling
Now we'll get the
suspension from the
shortcut.
Opel Senator.
This... I don't have a target to reach.
In 400 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
Or like a starred target, more specifically. I just have to get somewhere.
Only 950 of these custom gems were built, and they've become something of a modern classic. The Lotus Carlton was an example of how to turn a saloon into a supercar.
How many more
But that's
races
not
do we
the
have to
only
go?
thing Lotus got up to. In 1979, Chrysler approached Lotus to create a strict rally version of their Sunbeam three-door
After we're
hatchback.
done with this set of races,
Lotus,
like
as you might
those 3 or
imagine,
4 races,
rather
I'm gonna go
enjoyed
get
the
food.
challenge.
Alright.
They took the rear-wheel drive hatchback and changed everything that matters. They stiffened the suspension, improved
Do I?
the anti-roll
Oh, I'm so
bars,
tempted.
and widened the transmission tunnel.
It's okay. No, I won't. This car's a little too slidey. Not yet. That next section of roads I'll cut.
Performance was increased by fitting a 2.2-litre version of the Lotus 911 slant 4-cylinder
You can't
engine,
expect me to actually drive this
resulting in an
Forza,
impressive
not when I have a...
250 brake horsepower, up from a meager 105 on the original.
Oh fuck.
Careful, Josh.
I'm fine. I'm not gonna disqualify us, don't worry.
I almost did.
It almost makes you wonder if Lotus should do more conversion. It's a silly question, actually. Lotus should do more conversions. In fact, I'll call them right now.
Yeah, we're already at level 8 for this series.
Yep. Yeah, we have 3 left.
So we must not have many left. 3? Okay.
3. Minute 35 seconds is the next target. Man, this one has a lot of really easy ones.
Yeah.
At least,
I mean,
I
they
I
had
almost
the
fucked
fucking...
it up, but
I honestly think these might be some of the most beautiful
Oh,
cars
what's
in the
this?
world.
Oh.
And the story of how it came about is, well, really British. Get in the car and let's get this segment.
they had a really poor road choice. Why do I have 3 wipers? What?
Jaguar
Because
is a
it's
favourite
really
of
British.
mine. The company is almost 100 years old and was originally founded to build sidecars for motorcycles.
I can't stop looking at that.
But this is the car that really set the bar.
First
I
person.
The 1961 E-Type. When he saw it, Enzo Ferrari called it the most beautiful car in the world. High praise.
It
indeed.
has 3 wipers.
He wasn't alone in his admiration.
What do you
Accolades
mean?
have followed this car ever since. It's been in movies, comics, games, and TV shows.
I do like the E-Type. but-
Unlike some later
I
cars
don't
I didn't
recall
realize it had
having 3
three
it
wipers
wasn't
wipers
now.
just looks,
ever.
though. The E-Type was light and fast. It would do 153 miles an hour and stopped on innovative 4-wheel brakes that were better than anything Ferrari or Porsche or even Mercedes-Benz had.
Could
It
have
was
saved some
solid,
weight
too,
with a
with a design based on the
A
D-Type
less
that
wiper.
won the 24 Hours of Le Mans 3 years in a row.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
Anyone who owns an E-Type will tell you that the key to their reliability is to drive them regularly, as if you'd need the excuse.
Who wouldn't want to drive this regularly?
That looks no, that can't be right.
About 2,500 were built, and they're a common sight at auto shows. And surprisingly, all in all, an almost perfect Jaguar.
Yep, your extra wiper.
Are they gonna give this one 3 wipers too?
Answered that question with the F-Type Project 7, a spiritual successor to the E-Type, and designed from the ground up to be the purest, most enjoyable Jaguar yet.
Anyway, I'm done.
The car's heritage is proudly displayed in the gorgeous D-type curves and the distinctive aero hunch behind the driving position. But like the E-type,
I can't hear you.
it's not just
Don't
a
speak
pretty
louder.
face.
I.
Powered by a 5-litre V8 supercharged engine. With a fully aluminium body, it's blisteringly fast. With a 0 to 60 speed of 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 186 miles an hour. A car as beautiful as
Josh,
this must
what are you
surely have
doing?
been a carefully authored design.
I don't know.
Actually, it started as a sketch by designer Cesar Pieri, thrown together one Friday in his free time. Jaguar's design director, Ian Callum, saw the sketch in a thumbnail on Cesar's computer during a meeting and asked him what it was. The rest is history.
Okay, well, I don't think we lost too much time.
Project 7
Successfully
were built,
cutting this
as
through
both
this
a
thing is
successor
going to
to
be
the
key
E-Type
to getting
and
this
as a
time.
celebration of
Okay.
Jaguar's victories at Le Mans.
What was the? I don't even remember what the time was. Do you remember what I told or what I
I
said?
think I speak for all of us
145,
when
I
I
thought it
say
was.
thank
45?
heavens for
Oh, okay.
Cesar's Friday afternoon doodle.
Well, it worked out. Super wheel spin. And it looks like we're getting a nice car too.
When are we getting the super wheel spin? Houndstooth P coat and some money. Wow. That's not exactly what I was hoping for.
I just got an Ferrari F40 from a regular wheel spin. Now to do my super wheel spin, and it's gonna give me like maybe 10,000 credits. Oh, I got a really fast Nissan. Okay, it's alright, I guess. I'll live with that. Minute 20.
We're almost done, but we've saved the good stuff for last. A
Minute
spot
20,
of
you said?
rallying in the most British car of them all. Get in, strap in, and let's nail this one. There is one car built in Great Britain that is
You got
quite
some kick.
fairly considered one of the most
Yeah, this is not
influential
abnormal
cars
mini.
of the century.
It's
It's a
obviously a
surprisingly
rally.
This is the
mini.
first
spacious
mini,
little
the
city
rally
car
mini.
with
Yeah.
a side-mounted engine. It's an icon of popular culture. It's been built on every continent
Whoa.
where there's a car factory. It's
K
a
rally,
mini.
K rally car. Relax.
The Mini Cooper S was built to be a
I
performance
like how it's like,
machine.
oh, here's a rally car.
With
Okay,
deeper
now take it on the
engines,
road.
twin carburetors, and front disc brakes. This scrappy little machine would go on to achieve more than 30
I can make
racing
it.
victories in
I
the
can make it.
1960s and 1970s.
I can't make it. I hit a tree.
We'll reset and take that section again.
I was about to make it.
I forgot about the stay on the road part.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have made it if I didn't hit a tree.
Don't hit a tree then.
Well, it's okay. At least I know about the road thing now. Also, I already
We're
have my
almost
food,
done.
so I'm just gonna eat it.
But we
While
saved
you
the
go
good stuff
do
for
stuff
last.
after we're
A
done.
spot of rallying in the most British car
Well,
of
it's
them
just
all.
this race and then whatever
Get
the next
in,
one is, right?
strap in, and let's nail
Yes,
this one.
correct.
So.
Did my phone just die? Seriously?
Good job.
There is
That's
one
another
car built
waste
in
of
Great Britain that
frickin'
is
energy
quite fairly
in the event I was trying to
considered
do.
one of the most
Damn it.
influential cars of the century.
In 200 yards, turn left. Turn left.
It's a surprisingly spacious little city car with a side-mounted engine. It's an icon of popular culture. It's been built on every continent where there's a car factory. It's the Mini.
I know a couple people that have a Mini. They're not bad.
Like a
The
new Mini or
Cooper
like a
S
this Mini?
was built to be a performance machine. With
I know
deeper
one
engines,
person has an old one
twin
and one that has like
carburetors,
a
and front disc
pretty
brakes.
new one, like
This
probably
scrappy little
2014
machine
or
would go on
something.
to achieve more than 30 racing victories in the 1960s and 1970s. A Mini Cooper S flying number 37 placed first at the 1964 Monte Carlo Rally. Driven by Paddy Hopkirk and Henry Liddon, this was the last time an all-British crew would win the event. But not the last time a Mini would. At Monte Carlo in 1966, Minis took the first, second and third positions. They were all disqualified because they had dimming headlamps. Not because they were winning everything in sight. In 1999, the Car of the Century Award was presented to the most influential car of the 20th century. The Mini came second. It was beaten by the Model T Ford. That's fair, I suppose. 5.3 million Minis would be sold, making it the most popular British car. And then in 2000, BMW resumed production of the Mini, breathing new life into the iconic mark. If the Mini of the 1960s had its sights set on the roads of Monte Carlo, the X-Rayed Countryman has its eyes on something a little tougher. The deserts and rough terrain of the Dakar, for starters. A wit once said that the only thing Mini in this monster was the pedal. That's rather missing the point, I think. The X-Rayed Countryman is much, much bigger than the Mini Cooper. It has to be. A stage of the Dakar demands literally tons of gear. You could call it a tank. It does rather sound like one. When Mini's X-Rayed division set out to build this thing, they had one goal in mind: winning the Dakar. And they did, every year, from 2012 to 2015.
In 400 yards, turn right.
It's designed to be driven for 2 weeks over deserts and badlands, 5 kilometers above sea level. And it still handles like a hot hatch on a nice bit of dry ice.
That was a tougher one.
Yeah, I've already had to rewind twice.
I got like a 118. You're gonna make it, right? Maybe.
Owners come and go.
Yeah.
The heritage of a car like the Mini is more than who owns the keys to the shop. I fully expect to see Mini's wings flying for another century.
That's a nice looking car.
I'd imagine it's going to be in the last event. I'm going to guess it's in the last event.
Wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
59 seconds for this.
One moment here.
You got 38 more moments.
Okay. No, not what I meant to do. God damn it. Back out.
30 more moments. $20 moments. There we go.
This is quite the story. Bentley at Le Mans in the 1930s. Gentleman racers and heroic driving. A personal hero of mine. Take good care of the cars, though. Both of them belong to me.
Drive it off a cliff then.
Yeah, exactly.
Bentley.
Oh, there's
A
damage.
company founded in 1919 in Cricklewood, North London, and purchased by Rolls-Royce in the 30s. A company synonymous with both racing and luxury.
5 point
Perhaps
something
the
miles
best
in
example
3
I know of
minutes.
those two extremes of British engineering. For almost a century,
And
every
access to the
Bentley
road.
was hand-built to exacting standards. So at the beginning of the 21st century, when Bentley revealed their first mass-produced car, there were a great many questions. The car was the Continental GT, an elegant grand tourer that combined a racetrack pedigree with exquisite style and all the power you could need. The move to mass production has done nothing to blunt the Bentley experience. The 2017 Continental Supersport is responsive, fast, and beautifully designed. It brings together all-wheel drive, carbon fiber bonnet sides and side skirts to create the most powerful performance-focused car the company has ever built. But never forget, Bentley's pedigree is racing, and the Bentley Continental embraces that. In 2007, a largely standard Continental Speed GT broke Bugatti's record for the flying kilometre on the frozen Baltic Sea. And then in
Did you hit something,
2011,
Amber?
they broke their own record.
No,
205 miles an hour,
Oh.
both
Like,
ways,
I've hit little
on
things.
ice.
Nothing
Even
crazy.
when building
I don't know, I
these gorgeous
just
Grand
saw the
Tours,
damage bar
Bentley
go
is
up and I didn't hit
driven to
anything.
excellence.
It could have been like it could have even been one of those little itty bitty light things on the side of the road. I don't know. I mean, I knocked like a couple of little things over. Nothing crazy.
Today, Bentley means modern, peerless luxury and elegance. But that's far from the full story. A century ago, Bentley meant something else entirely.
Okay.
It meant Le Mans. In 1930,
Hey, what do you know?
eccentric race team owner Dorothy Paget financed a rather special Bentley at the Le Mans. It was a 4.5-litre supercharged masterpiece, driven by Sir Henry Bentley Boy Birkin. It posted the fastest time on the day, but it failed to finish. But what a race it was! Sir Henry's courageous driving forced Rudolf Caracciola's 7-litre Mercedes out of the race at the cost of his own victory. But in doing so, He ensured that the Bentley Sixes would
Is this a
take the
three-part event?
victory.
I could have
I don't know.
sworn the goal was a time. I swear it was like 50 seconds or something.
Sir Henry knew he didn't have anything to prove. In 1929, the adventurer Mrs. Mary Victor Bruce had already driven the resolutely modern 4.5-litre Bentley at Montlhéry, setting distance, speed and endurance records. The Bentley's performance so annoyed Ettore Bugatti that he called it the world's fastest lorry. Oh, and when the blower finally went on auction in 2012, it fetched more than enough to get yourself a Veyron and a racing truck.
Well,
Yeah, it was 50 seconds, Andrew. It was just, we had to stay over 70 miles an hour.
oh, I got a 57. How is a 3-star time given there was like 7 seconds left of the whole event?
I don't know.
What do you mean? Alright, well, we're done.
Like I told them, can't make a film about car culture around here without you in it, can they? I'll let you know if they need you back. Sounds like this documentary's gonna be pretty good, yeah? The bits with you and Beckenham, at least. Got a call from the producer. Said you couldn't have driven
Okay,
better
let me
if you
do all my
tried.
wheel spins today. Accrued.
Bye, stream.
A racing Volkswagen.